Good evening, dear viewers. Welcome to our news broadcast. First, a quick look at the headlines. Two patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19. Rehabilitation of disadvantaged families in Barento. Sixteen soldiers killed in Western Niger ambush. India sees new world record for rise in daily COVID-19 cases. Announcement from the Ministry of Health. 2 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out at quarantine centers in Girmaika, Gash Barkar Region, and Massawa, Northern Red Sea Region, respectively. Meanwhile, 4 patients who have been receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the Central Region have recovered fully and have been discharged from these facilities. Sadly, 2 patients who were receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the Central and Northern Red Sea regions have passed away. The total number of recovered patients to date has accordingly risen to 3,496, while the number of deaths has increased to 12. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has also increased to 3,673. In view of ongoing substantive easing of restrictions, the Ministry of Health urges all citizens as well as relevant sectors and public institutions to comply with all standard preventive measures, including physical distancing, mandatory use of masks, cleaning hands with soap or sanitizers, and constant disinfection of equipment used. Ministry of Health, Asmara, 3 May 2021. The Ministry of Labour and Social Welfare Branch in Golich Subzone rehabilitated 238 disadvantaged families from the 16 administrative areas in the subzone. According to reports, 230 families were rehabilitated with horse carts, while the remaining 8 with livestock worth 10,000 nakfa each. Ms. Dahab Yosef, head of the branch office in the subzone, said that the objective of the support was to enable the disadvantaged families become self-supportive and productive members of the society. In the same vein, the Ministry of Labour and Social Welfare in Gash Barkar Region organized a seminar focusing on the responsibility of citizens in the treatment of disabled and elderly citizens. At the seminar, Mr. Tesfa Gabriel Gaureselassie, head of social welfare, called on the area administrators in the region to identify disadvantaged families and disabled citizens that need the support and report to the concerned government institutions. Indicating that support to disadvantaged and disabled citizens is not to be left to the government alone, Mr. Gide Stefanos, administrator of Lalai Gash subzone, called on every citizen to reinforce contribution in the implementation of the program. The Ministry of Agriculture branch in Adkhwala subzone distributed 10,000 one-month-old chicks to 487 farmers in the subzone with the objective of encouraging farmers to develop poultry farming. According to Mr. Samuel Beide from the Agriculture branch office, the chickens were distributed to the farmers at fair price. Mr. Samuel went on to say that in the past 6 months, 21,741 chickens were distributed to farmers and are in good condition. Mr. Samuel also called on beneficiary farmers to conduct regular follow-up on the condition of the chickens and visit nearby agricultural offices and administrations for advice and support. The beneficiary farmers, on their part, commended the support they were extended with and called for regular follow-up and advice from experts in poultry farming. That was our domestic news. Please stay tuned for the international right after a short break. Attack by bandits in the Tahawa region near Mali's border wounds 16 soldiers in Niger. During the attack by bandits on Saturday, the toll was 16 dead, 6 injured, and 1 missing. Tahawa official Ibrahim Miko said on public television. The vast desert area of Tahawa in West Niger, near the borders of Mali and Burkina Faso, has been plagued by violence since 2012. In March, an attack by rebel fighters on 3 villages near Niger's border with Mali left a total of 141 people dead. They were the worst attacks committed by armed groups in Niger in recent years. The attacks in western Niger are often attributed to armed groups affiliated with Al-Qaeda and ISIL. Such attacks against civilians have multiplied this year, with more than 300 people killed in villages and encampments in western Niger. On Sunday, the government said troops had killed 24 suspected terrorists after they tried to escape after being captured in west of the country. India sees a new world record for a rise in daily COVID-19 cases for the 6th consecutive day, while deaths from the disease also jumped by an all-time high over the last 48 hours. On Monday, the country is facing an alarming shortage of medical and hospital supplies. Several nations, including the United States, the United Kingdom, and Germany, have offered support as India's healthcare system struggles to cope with the increasing demand for medical oxygen and hospital beds. Some U.S. lawmakers and wealthy technology executives have joined forces to boost aid to India as it grapples with a severe spike in coronavirus infections. U.S. Representative Ro Khanna, Democratic Vice Chair for the Congressional Caucus of India, told Reuters news agency that Indian-American billionaire and Sun Microsystems co-founder Vinod Khosla and other Indian-American tech executives at Google, IBM, and Microsoft are working closely with the bipartisan Congressional Caucus on India. India has received a first batch of Russia's Sputnik V vaccine against COVID-19 on May 1, the head of the Russian Direct Investment Fund, Kirill Dmitriev, said. Recent comments from U.S. President Joe Biden and members of his administration show he is intent on maintaining a hostile policy towards North Korea that will require a corresponding response from Pyongyang, North Korean officials said yesterday. The officials' comment came in a series of statements carried on state news agency KCNA after the White House on Friday, April 30th, said U.S. officials had completed a month-long review of North Korean policy. In one statement, a foreign ministry spokesman accused Washington of insulting the dignity of the country's leadership by criticizing North Korea's human rights situation. In a separate statement, Kwon Gwang-jun, Director General of the Department of U.S. Affairs of the Foreign Ministry, cited Biden's first policy speech to Congress on Wednesday, where the new president said nuclear programs in North Korea and Iran poses a threat that would be addressed through diplomacy and stern deterrence. Kwon further said that Biden's speech was intolerable and a big blunder. And that was our news for tonight, dear viewers. It is good night from us.